Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. There you are. And welcome back to Farlands or Bust. I didn't know where Wolfie was. I thought I brought him inside here, but I couldn't see him. He was right next to me. This is episode 700 of Farlands or Bust, my friends. Episode 700 of Farlands or Bust. For your Wednesday, August 1st, 2018. And that's right, we ended the last episode in this place. We found this right at the end. And I'm a little bit worried. Okay, it's safe. It's safe. Wolfie, why don't you spawn out here? Very nice. Episode 700. We're here in season 7. I've never shopped at a 7-Eleven. It's all coming together. It all makes sense. Here in Farlands or Bust. Spooky noises. Is 7 a cursed number? I don't think it is. Isn't it supposed to be lucky? Speaking of lucky, speaking of getting lucky, no, I think there might be another chest in this place. What are these things called? Dungeon. So I'm going to smelt some iron because the one thing, we don't have anything. Since episode 300, we have not been doing anything special for these milestones. So... yeah, there it is. Don't expect any sort of fantastical stuff. We will have to make a shovel, though. One of the things I did mention is that my armor needs upgrading, so I should do so here in episode 700, and then we can see how long it lasts. But I was hoping, maybe... we haven't opened this chest yet. Perhaps there's a 4th golden apple. A drum roll, please. But there's a green music disc and 3 iron. Isn't one of the things we haven't crafted a music player? But we need a diamond, don't we? Have we ever found a green music disc? We found gold ones, and those are cursed. But I don't know if we've ever found green. Oh, and we can make an explosion, at least. There's that. Okay. Well, that was actually a little bit different, surprising, unexpected. We can have fireworks, though. Should we blow this place up? That would blow up our bed. We don't want to do that. Wolfie knows. Neat. Neat. Is there anything else we need? No. All right, let's not forget. Should I create the armor here? Yeah, let's create the armor here, shall we? So right at the beginning. Should I just replace all of it or just my worn, damaged items? I could probably just afford to do my worn, damaged items. I don't have any inventory space. What is this, No Man's Sky? Hey, pow. Let's do this. As well as this. Oh, shift click doesn't work. Boink, boink. Ooh, look at all that armor. Should I replace my boots too? I guess I could replace the whole set. Just get a brand new wardrobe. Wolfie agrees. Yeah, well now it sucks to not have 100% armor. He's done it. Boing. Alright, we will leave behind this armor. We will craft an arrow for some reason. Because of all these arrows we're shooting. You know what? I'm just going to throw this flint away as well. And, yeah, let's continue, finally. Let's continue with the series for episode 700. We cannot get out. There's no way to get out here. There we go. And let's secure the hidey hole. Yes! Now that it is noon, we shall... Which way is the sun moving? That way. Grab Wolfie and head west. Here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Full health, full armor, green records, block of TNT. Everything's coming up Kurt J. Mac. Indeed. It's also coming up Direct Relief, because over at farlandsorbust.com, segue, it's we're raising money for Direct Relief. That is Season 7's charity of choice. We're trying to raise $50,000 up to $17,237.71. Thank you everybody who continues to donate. farlandsorbust.com. That will take you to our Tiltify campaign for Direct Relief. And we have multiple milestones set up. Obviously, the last one, the $50,000 one, is for pressing F3 finally. And then, prior to that, at the halfway mark, 25,000, we'll build the Lego Saturn V Space Shuttle. And I recently sweetened the deal for 20,000. I'll make a Kurt reacts to watching Kurt's Guinness World Record video for the first time ever because I haven't watched it because I'm too awkward and self-conscious to do such a thing. But for you I will. For you I will. So farlandsorbust.com, much appreciated for all the support for Direct Relief and all the charity work we've done since its inception. Since episode 40? No, like 30. Since episode 30, I think, is when we started the fundraiser side of Farlands or Bust. It's crazy. It's crazy. 700 episodes. It's like 100 episodes a year. I can do math sometimes. Listen. Oh, man. Fresh armor. Let's look at it glisten in the sun. Speaking of No Man's Sky, we've been playing No Man's Sky over on Twitch with our friend Anasia. Remember Anasia? Everybody knows Anasia. You all know Anasia. Of course you do. They updated it for actual multiplayer, so we're trying it out for the first time. I've never played it before, and people have wanted me to play it because it's a space game. And I apparently have to be interested in playing all space games. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It is indeed one of those games that, even though it doesn't feel like you're making much progress, it's like, whoops, suddenly 5 hours later, and certainly we did the first time, I ended up playing past midnight my time. But yeah, we're working our way through it. It's fun. I'm kind of, maybe it gets better as we get through the like introductory, let's make sure you know how to build and repair your ship tutorial part. But maybe once we get past that and into the actual exploration, right now it just feels like we're both doing our own things, our own tutorials. Like once we get into like, okay, let's set our own goals, that might become more co-op. And might be necessary for two people. Maybe if we get in battles, it'll be easier to have more guns at the ready. But yeah, so far enjoyable. So far enjoyable. And, I mean, there are definitely things to maybe criticize. Like the user interface, we were just talking about that before we started recording this episode here on stream. Have I recorded? I'm live, recording this live on Twitch. It is one of these episodes. So yeah, I was talking with chat beforehand about how the user interface is very bad. it seems like it was designed by somebody who maybe has more experience in mobile design, touchscreen design, which seems to be the way. It seems like it's getting better. There was certainly a Windows Vista, Windows 8, Windows 10 design. I don't have any dirt. Oh, yeah, I do. Touchscreen everything. Big cubes and rectangles taking up the entire screen and big old icons. Or even, if anybody has an Xbox One, you know that the Xbox interface is very much this. It doesn't lend itself to usability, I feel. And that's a big problem with No Man's Sky. Well, let's go to sleep and continue complaining in the morning. And a Norman Skyness. But yeah, we played Norman Sky before, and then we played Morphite, which is like No Man's Sky Light, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, there's some of those things. There's a lot of confusion at the beginning because they throw so much information at you, and because of the interface confusion, certain buttons mean certain things at certain times, but then don't mean the same thing at other times. Sometimes a quest appears on the top left, sometimes on the top right. It's the problem that we've experienced with other games, similarly to the recent Tomb Raider reboots, where as part of the mechanic and storyline, they break the show don't tell rule, where instead of showing you through gameplay or through story elements like dialogue and visual elements, they're telling you things with walls of text boxes. They're telling you what to do instead of showing you how to do it. Tell a man about fish and he'll starve to death, but you show a man to fish and he'll end up eating raw fish, getting sick from salmonella, and dying. You know how the old saying goes. But yeah, that's just a frustrating thing as somebody who comes from graphic design. I was certainly by no means a user interface expert, but I certainly had to think about that a lot as a web designer, even in my days. The yonder days in college, I was the art director of the student newspaper, and I studied up a lot on newspaper design and theory, and that's a completely different sort of usability. It's not an interface, but it kind of is. You have to interface with the reader about where their eye goes, how they find a story on a page, continued thing. There's a lot of stuff like that. And it's not easy, but it's also it doesn't seem like it should be that easy to get so wrong. It seems like they're too close to the project. Since they're the ones making the game, they're like, well, of course, this is how you do this, because they're the ones who programmed them in. But it didn't seem like they asked many people who were blind to the project to look it over, right? It seems like there was maybe a breakdown of testing usability. But that's just me. I'm still having fun with the game. I'm having to play it on low everything. It's a real stressful for my computer to do that and stream at the same time. But yeah, still enjoying it. Enjoying playing with and reconnecting with Anasia, who's been, I think I mentioned a few episodes ago, doing her own thing with the Minecraft marketplace skins and texture packs she's making and stuff. So that's cool. Having a good time. Always good to play new games on stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/KurtJMac. Give it a follow, if you will. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. And a Twitch Prime sub. Subtub. Oh, man. Indeed. Also, don't forget about Patreon. I feel like everybody always tells me that I need to... Ooh, let's look at this big old tower. I need to market my Patreon. And by market, they mean, like, mention at all that I have a Patreon. I just feel weird because we're doing the charity thing. Obviously, that's our main driving factor here in Far Lands or Bust. But I do have a Patreon. I did just send out a batch of how many were there? A little bit less than 250 postcards featuring a photo of our hiking companion Juno, real-life hiking companion. This is the first time I've not used a Far Lands or Bust screenshot for a postcard. And also we have the Discord. We have the Discord community that you can join, which I recently got asked about here about Twitch subs. So I don't have a Twitch sub Discord. I've got the Patreon Discord, and a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting conversations in the last week. We've had some interesting threads of discourse, as well as just random goofiness and silliness. And if perhaps your Twitch notifications aren't working, your YouTube sub box isn't working, we have a recently released state-of-the-art feed of video, Kurt J. Mac video uploads, and live stream notifications. For those of you who want that sort of Kurt J. Mac stuff in your Discord inbox. Indeed. So yes, figured I'd mention that, as well as the patron Minecraft server is going to be resetting as soon as the server technology we use gets updated and tested and is stable with the latest version of Minecraft. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. But we also have this charity thing going on, and when you donate, you can ask questions, and I will answer these questions in future episodes of Far Lands or Bust. Like Cone Dodger here. Cone Dodger, a fellow Discord server owner with a donation to Direct Relief, asks, do you think games have not kept up with keeping the experience enjoyable as the ability... Oh. Ow! That was kind of overreacting. That was only 3 blocks. I was just surprising, is all. I was just surprised. So much for that perfect armor. That lasted a whole 18 minutes, didn't it? Oh. Lost a half a shirt. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny indeed. Oh, well, there we got it. Episode 700. Didn't even get to finish the episode with full armor. Sorry. Sorry, let me start over here. Do you think games have not kept up with keeping the experience enjoyable as the ability to add more features and have more depth? Does playing games feel more like work and more like work these days to you? Well, it does, because it is work for me. Like, I don't play games ever if I'm not recording, streaming, etc. So there's that aspect. But the game itself, does it feel like work? I'm assuming you might be talking about grind, even. Like, there's definite grinding. And yeah, so at some point, No Man's Sky seems like a very complicated cookie clicker. But the same could be said for Minecraft, specifically modded Minecraft. The same could be said for the Tomb Raider games, where you gotta craft arrows, and even though in the first Tomb Raider, the sequel, she had to relearn how to make arrows all over again, even though you did that and bullets and fire things all before. But there wouldn't be any storyline or crafting progression if she didn't get bumped on the head and forget about all that stuff between games. And I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen with the new Tomb Raider game. It looks like an avalanche. Yeah, it kind of does. An ice cave, you could say. So yeah, I don't know. Like, there's certainly a good way to do that and a bad way to do that. I feel like that sort of stuff was reserved for certain kinds of games in the past. Your real-time strategies, your RPGs, you know, your StarCrafts, your Warcrafts, your Final Fantasies and stuff had a lot of these points-based upgrade, grinding, trading, crafting systems that, you know, were part of the games, but they've now bled all of these features into adventure games and shooter games and exploration games and driving games. Wreckfest kind of has an aspect to that, with earning credits to buy, to upgrade, but you need this car, you need this level. Forza is really like that. Although they recently announced that the next Forza and Forza Horizon games will not have those ridiculous microtransaction card opening games. You know, that like boost car. I don't know if they'll have boost cars, but it won't be. I'm sure. I don't know. There's a lot of backlash about micro transactions and stuff, so I think that's what they're thinking. But also, it made the game driving cars not the game. The game was collecting these things and attaching them to your cars, and it really, you know, it wasn't like upgrading your brakes. It was like some magical, mystical fairy dust you placed upon your car to get 20% more grip, or, you know, whatever. More complaining in the morning. And awakeness. So yeah, I don't know. I think focusing, like we have been for the past Minecraft Day, on all the negative aspects of these things in certain games neglects all these other games. Mostly indie games, but there are perhaps some other mainstream games that don't have this problem, that are perhaps a bit more classic, I guess, in their storyline progression and the experience of a game, the plot, the graphics, the Wolfie? Murder that pig! And then eat his flesh because you took damage during that transaction. So yeah, I think you just have to look. Just like, yeah, there's a lot of big blockbuster, churn 'em out, cookie cutter Jurassic Park, really bad movies. But if you look, that people are still making movies that are interesting and funny and enjoyable, and you know, same thing with music. There's a lot of cookie cutter pop MTV top 10 chart, just digestible and discardable music being made. But there's, you know, if you look, if you ask around, if you hone your ear, you can find the stuff that isn't. So yeah, I certainly think there's trends, and where money is, trends will follow, and that's why Battle Royale games are getting shoehorned into everybody's kind of back. I almost said back end, but that didn't compute really nicely. I meant that in a programming sense, not a... Anyway, continuing on. So yeah, yeah, it's tough to make blanket statements, but it certainly is something to keep an eye out for. As far as No Man's Sky is concerned, I was, I mean, I don't want to be, well, I didn't believe in the hype. You know, it seemed, it caught my attention. I was interested. But I always had a bad feeling about it, just based on the trailers. You gotta, that's why I never pre-order games, regardless. The trailers looked amazing, but there was no gameplay in them. It was all obviously pre-scripted character movements and overlay designs, and you know, that always, like, when they promise so much, every atom is procedurally generated. I think people forget what the limitations of games are, and you know, programs. You know, it really. Perhaps I'm more of a skeptical consumer than others, and maybe that's why I can't find the enjoyment that others can in certain forms of media. I can't find the passionate enjoyment and obsession that other people might find in certain fandoms and things. But that's just me. Commander Sealand, you've got a question here as well, asking about video games. For a short time, you were playing Astroneer. I was. But haven't played it in some time. It seemed like a game you really enjoyed. Is there a reason why you quit playing it? Have you been following the latest updates? I don't feel like you watched my last episodes of Astroneer, maybe, because I mentioned this a lot. It's a game that I think, you know, talking about interfaces and enjoyment versus grind, that's a game that could be very grindy. It could have been very grindy and work-like. But I feel like they made it fun by not getting too complex. There's not a lot of text either. They're showing you how to enjoy the game and not telling you what specifically to do or where to do things. And you're left to explore and find out things on your own. And that's the best way to teach somebody how to do something. Is to let them discover it on their own, as opposed to tutorialize them how to do it. But yeah, I'm not playing that because it's still in early access, and I don't want to get burned out of it before the final, or what they consider complete, version is. I'm honest, I'm waiting for a planetary and environment and terrain update. I don't know if that's on their roadmap or not. I certainly hope it is, because that I think is, I've explored every planet, every nook and cranny, and through the center even of the moon, to the center of the planet. I'm looking forward to, what I enjoy is more of the exploration aspect of it. So yeah, I definitely want to return to that. But I've pretty much learned my lesson from Kerbal Space Program, where I did all I could in an early version of that, and then it kept changing so much that it was already burnt out underneath me, and by the time I got back to it, it was a completely different game to me, and it just, yeah, it was too much for me to go back to. Kerbal Space Program was, which is, in its current form, is, I'm sure, still a fabulous game, and maybe one day I'll hop back in and try it again, but I'll probably end up playing it as I did before. I'll probably not be using or taking advantage of all the new aspects, just like Minecraft. A similar thing with Minecraft. I'm kind of stuck in beta 1.7.3 that this new version of Minecraft isn't even the same game. Thank you very much for those donations and questions. Ooh, spooky noises. So many spooky noises today for episode 700 with the TNT and music disc. That's the episode title. David asks, have you ever played any of the Halo games extensively? Not in the least. I never owned an Xbox, so I never played the Halo games. Even now that I do own an Xbox, I don't play the Halo games. Again, not a genre I'm interested in either. I guess I played a little bit of the multiplayer, like 4-screen, split screen, back in college, because a friend had it. But that's it. It was pretty much like a space GoldenEye at that point, is what we were playing. Just deathmatch stuff. So no, I didn't, David. You had a bunch. David had a bunch more like specific questions about the Halo games, but I don't know anything about what David was asking to be able to answer them. Oh man. Square Goldfish asks, do you have any recommendations for such things to do in Seattle? I'm coming for my 3rd visit in September and don't feel the need to see the Pike Place gum wall again. Cone Dodger is going to visit during PAX Prime. I'm sure he's going to love the gum wall. Hiking recommendations are also welcome. Well, I did just come back from the Big 4 Ice Caves, which is a good almost 2 hours from Seattle proper. But it's a very easy hike, and it's also a very popular hike, so it's not one I would personally go on the weekends. But it's also, I think it kind of has pretty much everything. You got waterfalls, you got mountains, you got snow and ice caves and rivers. It's like, if you want to see everything that every hike in Washington State has, that's probably a good one. Make Cone look at the gum wall. Make him touch it with his face. Sorry, I'm talking to chat. One thing we're definitely going to have to take Cone to is the Museum of Flight to see his first ever SR-71 Blackbird and sit in the training cockpit. Bet he didn't expect to sit in the SR-71 cockpit. Tell you what. But that's a good museum. I enjoyed that. They also have a good Apollo exhibit there. And space flight exhibit. And also, like, the outdoor, like, place. Like, I've never seen a Concorde in person. They have a Concorde there, and you can go into the Concorde and see how jam-packed and crammed it was in this luxury speed of sound airliner. I didn't know that was there. They had an old Air Force One plane that I think, like, Johnson and Nixon used or something like that. So that's really cool to have a 777. You know what I'm going to do for season 777 and episode 700 is make it a 4-day episode. Woo! Woo! Watch out now. Party hardy. Whoops, that's not where that goes. Sorry, that was hilarious. Just saw Wolfie jumping like an idiot in and out of frame. Good times, Wolfie. Apparently, also, they have... Well, they still have to put together and refurbish, but they have a B-25 Super Fortress? No. What's the big one? The B-20, B-29? B-25? B-25? The modern, well, like the Vietnam era one. B-52? The B-52, yeah. They transferred the fuselage and the wings. It's not put together yet, I don't think, but I think that's where it's gonna be. Is in the museum. Is it called the Museum of Flight? The Flight Museum? I think it's the Museum of Flight. Because there's also the... Good thing we did this. Good thing we did this. We might find another golden apple. It was foretold in the prophecies. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, hiking. There's also a car museum. Maybe we should go to the car museum. That's like down south in the Tacoma area, I think. Isn't it? Ooh, there's a spider spawner. Where are all these zombies coming from? Ah, redstone. Oh, is that it? I guess so. Well, this was a disappointment, wasn't it? Damn. Do we think there's a double spawner? Well, these zombies are? Hold on, I gotta dig. Whoa, no! Okay, maybe let's not have Wolfie sitting on the snow. Or the sand. I know my materials. Tacoma smells funny. It kind of does. I drove through it to get the wheels from Olympia. It's got a scent. Yeah, okay, yeah, you just... Hey, sit. There's a car museum. It's like one of those museums that's also a showroom. Like, you can buy the stuff. I've never been there. Thought of going there. Also, Redmond, every... Is it Sunday or Tuesday or every first Tuesday or Sunday has a exotics car show where all the rich people bring their Lamborghinis and McLarens. Oh, get murdered! Get buried alive! Oh, it just might be a random cave. Oh, guess it was just a random cave, huh? There's I like going to Whidbey Island, which is up north. You take a ferry, and then there's a nice, like, beach, Double Bluff Beach that I take Juno to. But then the drive all the way around, there's, what's it called? There's a bridge. You know, a bridge. Like, just, it's an island. And there was, like, apparently there were, like, orca sightings off the island, which was very interesting. You know what we're gonna do here? Hey, fireworks! Who's ready for some episode 700 fireworks? Pow, 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 pow. Where's my flint? There it is. Blow up the spawner for being a cheap, single-chested spawner. Woo! Let's go. Yeah! Woo! Get motivated. I like the little collapse that happened over here, too. It was very interesting. Neat. We don't get to do that often, do we? So yeah. Honestly, before I moved here, I never, like, considered Seattle really a place to visit, like, for vacation. Just because I didn't feel like there was a lot going on in that regard. Look at all these sheep. Not a pink one among them. But it's an alright place to live, I guess. Oh, there's also the big falls, which probably aren't very big right now because we've had, like, a record drought the last 3 months. And the fire smell has returned. The fire smell in the sky has returned because there are fires in California and the eastern side of the state. It's not quite as bad as it was during PAX Prime last year, but worried about it getting there. We're supposed to be getting rain, though, so I think that should quiet things down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, there's the waterfall that is featured in Twin Peaks. I forgot what it's called, but it's out east in Falls. Snoqualmie Falls is what it's called. Thank you very much, Moistened. Snoqualmie Falls. That's also an easy to get to tourist spot, I suppose you could say. It doesn't require like hiking to get to it. It's just right there, and there's a parking lot and gift shop and everything. That's neat. That's neat. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not like I haven't been to many museums. There aren't that many museums. The zoo's good. The zoo's all right. But yeah, there's stuff to do. Let's see what else. What other question? Huxleyan asks, what is your entertainment of choice on a long trip? Well, normally, if I'm taking a long trip, I'm driving. But if you're talking about flying, music. I do have my tablet, but I find it very difficult to watch movies on a plane. Like, my attention span isn't always there, because I'm always wanting to look out the window at something. Movies or TV shows or whatever, it's tough. With YouTube Red, Premiere, Prime, whatever the heck it's called, I'm able to download videos offline to watch, which was helpful. But I'm not watching a lot of YouTube videos anymore, to be honest, as well. Yeah. Mostly music. I just listen to music. I don't read because I don't just read anyway. We've talked about this before. Just shh. But yeah, that's kind of it. Is music. Huxleyan also goes on to say, P.S. The postcard arrived. A satisfied patron. This is Dan in Hardwick, Gloucestershire, Great Britain. Hardwicky, Gloucestershire. He just wanted to hear me say it out loud, so I said it out loud. Gloucestershire? Is it Gloucestershire? Gloucestershire. Gloucesters. Ow! You kicked me right in my Gloucesters. Oh, boy. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you very much for being a patron, as well as the donation in question here. Glutenshire? Glutenshire? Isn't that where the hobbits are from? Indeed. So, yeah, 700 episodes. That's pretty crazy to think about, right? Good thing I unknowingly started my numbers, my episode numbers with 3 digits, although it looks like we're going to need 4 eventually. We're going to need 4, it seems. So we've got to go back and rename each one individually in YouTube, because that's the only way you can do it. No. No thanks. I don't think so. That would probably take me the rest of what time it would have taken to walk to the far lands. But yeah, I do appreciate it. All the support for the charity. It is my most viewed series, after all, right now. Although we got that vlog that went up, we got some live streams. People are asking me about No Man's Sky live streams going up on YouTube. I initially said yes, but that's going to be difficult. Like, I could just throw up... I could just put up the footage. But especially the first day we played, both myself and Anasia were having some computer-related technical difficulties. Man, I'm looking for a place to make the end of the episode hidey hole, but none of them are... Nothing's sticking out at me. I guess this will work. So yeah, it's tough. Like with Tomb Raider or Mirror Drop, it's like, oh, a level ends, progression is happening. Let's put an episode marker there, you know. Whereas with No Man's Sky, it's going to be difficult to to do. You know, that's going to be a little difficult to do. I'll see. I'll try. Ooh, snowball. Go fetch. Yeah, I guess we'll carry around this music disc. Because I've got inventory space to do such things as these. And maybe, since we can't touch golden records, because they're evil, a green record is the only musical recording that we could ever play in a music player. Sorry, in a music player. And we need to craft one, because we gotta craft them all. Because we have so much time to do such things as these on our way to the Farlands. Let's almost run out of wood here for these beds for the next episode. And thank everybody for watching. And like I said, all your support here and on Twitch and on Patreon and all these other things. I got the wheels, new wheels on the Corolla. The carb is on the Corolla, but not like connected fuel or functionality wise, but that'll be soon. I definitely want to have that thing up and running for when Cone comes. I think for PAX Prime, like I could drive it down and show it off to the people who are in town. But like, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that just now. Y'all will have to come up here where I am at, and we'll meet somewhere outside the city. Assuming that it'll actually be up and running by then as well. So yeah, we'll keep everybody updated with that. And yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you Wolfie for tagging along for a little less than 700 episodes. To another 700. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Magical, mystical fairy dust.